Hey, live on Pat's Soundbytes, IGTV, rocking the world, keeping new music alive. Man, is this a first? Show me the money. I'd have robbed my wife. Are you kidding me? Show me the money. We got the money guy in the house, and I got the doctor in the house. Got to feel a little ill, needed a little help today. Scott Itter, Doctor Music in Chicago, Pat Calamari in New York. Double duty for Dez Money, singer, songwriter, multi instrumentalist, producer. My goodness, Dez, how the heck are you, my man?
I'm good. How are you doing? Thanks so much for having me on the show.
No, man, thanks for joining us. This is a first for Scott and I. We've known each other a little bit and said, you know what, we got to do one together. And Jody says, well, what about Dez? And I'm like, oh, yeah. We, of course, loved your dad. I mean, who didn't love anybody? I had a chance to see him a couple of times, and I'm like, a buddy of mine met him and said, "Man, what a cool guy!" And I'm like, "What the hell was wrong?" Probably in a pisser or getting another beer. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but oh my god, what a loss! But his music lives on forever, and I know. Well, we got a few questions talking about your great dad and the great music and the show. And but this is all about you, my man. And I guess I'll kick it off by just saying, so everybody knows, Dez got his third single out, "Give Me All You Got," it released on August 13th. I see your brother playing drums, and I'm like, wait a minute, third single. This is the third album. Where the heck have I been? And as I said to Scott, but before I hit the button, I said, Scott, man, I know the music is in the bloodstream, Dez, but you got a great voice. What I liked about it a lot, I went in deep. I went into Lost and Trippin and Take Me Down and She's My Girl. And your storytelling is, I'm a lyric guy. I like to close my eyes and really try to understand the message. And I know music is for the interpretation of whatever you want to believe in. But I was amazed with your storytelling and your songwriting, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you went back and listened to the old songs as well. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm like, what? And I know I read that you opened for Dad a bunch of times. I mean, I guess my first question is, what age did you realize that Dad was like this dad?
Pretty much, right from the beginning. It was really cool because right from the beginning, I got to see the crowd's reaction and how he would affect everybody, and just the good time that everybody would have. My dad and his band and the whole crowd as well. So yeah, I always just really enjoyed the process of everything that went into it, and I always wanted to be in his band. So I'm really lucky that I had the opportunity of playing in his band later on.
You brought great joy to a lot of people, and myself included for sure. And I listen to these songs, and you're about to do that same thing all over again. It feels like it's great, and we thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you for listening to music, and I just love making music and doing it with the family as well.
Besides, let me just get one more in here, Scott. Besides your dad and mom, what best advice have you received from, say, another musical artist that like popped into the house all the time and you're going, wait, I'm hanging out with this guy or this girl?
I always got great advice from Chris O'Dowdgy. He's a great sound engineer, and kind of taught me that sometimes less is more in the song. Because as a producer, I was kind of just throwing in the whole kitchen sink and throwing in all sorts of stuff. But sometimes it's good to kind of leave space in the song, is from what I realized.
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, sometimes it's what you don't play, right? That kind of thing. Yeah. I've asked this. I talked to Phil Collins' son, Simon. I asked him the same thing. Do you ever struggle for your own identity? You guys were such a tight family, and it's so great to watch you with your sister, Jessie, and you guys are so close, and you love playing together with your brother on drums. Have you ever, you ever feel like you're always Eddie Money's kid? Is that ever an issue for you?
Definitely not. I really, it's an honor for me to take the torch, as my dad would always say. When I was opening up for my dad, he would always say he's passing the torch. And for me, it's just like a blessing. And I just try to take it and roll with it and do the best I can to make my dad proud and also make myself proud of everything that's going on. So yeah, just that's what it's all about. Is I'm really lucky to be making music for a living, and so I try the hardest I can, and yeah, I think we have a great time.
Yeah, and it shows for sure.
Thank you.
You know, Dez, you released 2 previous albums, Take Me Down, I want to say, what are my notes, 2015, and Blue just in 2020. What is different with this upcoming album compared to the first 2? Musically, more mature, like you said, you got great advice. Maybe the first one you just, I got to get it out there, and then you sit back and go, maybe I should try this. What can we look forward to with the third album?
Oh, with the third album, I'm really exploring different genres and having fun with it. I also, during the process of all that, when my dad was sick and everything like that, I was going through a lot. So now in the lyrics, I try to be there for the audience and everything like that. And I try to make lyrics that are kind of, more, just letting people know that I'm there for them through the music and stuff like that. I think that's really important to, do that for the, everybody who listens to the music. So, yeah.
What do you feel like when you listen to that the first record, Take Me Down? You're a little younger. That was 6 years ago or so. How's your approach changed? And how does that sound to you? Do you cringe, or it sounds great to me? But as a growing musician, especially at your age, is it something that still stands up for you?
Oh yeah, I was listening to pretty recently, and the songs still hold up. I still think that when we play that song "Take Me Down" live, people that aren't familiar with my music, they're always like, "Wow, that's the song right there." Yeah. And so people still think that's one of my best songs, and so I'm really grateful that was like one of the first songs I ever wrote, and it's really cool that it gets to carry on and people still enjoy it, and they get to discover it, and it's a great song. And there's a lot of, it's cool to have like a journey of, going through different genres and stuff like that, and just, trying to evolve as a musician and grow as a person as well.
Absolutely.
I love this song, and I have it here, I'm addicted to you. I listened to the song like 3 or 4 times going, wow, this is pretty cool. It's interesting that you mentioned about the different genres anymore. And I got to tell you, for a guy playing new music, and our format is actually classic rock redefined, but we added the tagline redefined, which allows myself and the other DJs to play whatever we want to play. If I want to play blues, I'm going to play blues. If I want to play, I'm not big into hip hop. That's just not me. Although my kids have really opened my eyes to a lot. When I see Post Malone hanging out with Ozzy Osbourne, I got him to come out with a new track. I'm going, what am I missing? The Weeknd. Who is the Weeknd? I'm looking forward to the Weeknd. And I'm like, what is this guy at a Weeknd? So, it opened my eyes up. It's not all about obviously classic rock, and I'm a blues rock guy. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. So yeah, I agree with you, Dad. There's no more boundaries, be what you want to be. Radio isn't the way it used to be, unless you're, I'm hoping corporate is playing a lot of your track, because I will certainly add it to our rotation. Because your stuff is extremely well. Did you ever get a chance? Did Dad ever join you on any of your records in the recording studio and maybe back up or play guitar or any of that?
We did a couple things. We did the Real Money theme song for the
TV show,
and he was on the saxophone, and I produced that as well. So I played the guitar and the drums and the bass, and then my sister sang on that as well. So that was cool. That was like a little family project that we did. And we had a lot of fun doing it, because I had never written a song to, visuals before, where I was watching the trailer to the TV show and then having to write the, all the changes to that and everything like that. But yeah, that was really fun. And then there's a couple of other songs that I did, which were my like early demos that I didn't know that he had, kind of redone. He redid those as well. And so, yeah, I thought that was really cool that he did that. There's a couple stuff that's unreleased, but maybe I'll share it with everybody sometime.
Yeah, that would be great. I thought about that, and I know you like film and you like doing the videos, and that's a big part of what you do. You mentioned playing to the track, sort of like doing a score or a soundtrack. Is that something you'd like to do in the future? More film and soundtrack work?
I would love to do something like that. Actually, the first album, Take Me Down, I kind of wrote that thinking of, movie trailers and stuff like that, and that kind of music where it's very like, bombastic and kind of, there's the quiet parts and then it gets kind of like, it's very dynamic. But yeah, that's kind of what I was going for on that, with like, all the real strings going on and trying to make it kind of like more symphonic in a way. But
yeah, it sounds very vibey to me. I drive a convertible, and I thought, this is what I want to listen to when I drive into the city with the city lights and a cool night and the top down. It's just so, I was there. You put me there, man.
Right on. That's what it's all about. Thank you.
Yeah, it was way cool.
The tracks, Des, were they written during this whole COVID period? Because when I listened to Lost, and I see it came out in April, it is so relevant today because it really put me in a place where it reminded me of like a reflection of this isolation of what we all went through, this past year. I know reading about Lost a little bit, the Tom Hanks on the Castaway, and is there anybody out there? Can you hear me? Where are we going? But and then I listened to Trippin, which took me to a whole different another world, a more psychedelic vibe, which I thought was really cool. So again, I guess my first question was, did you write these tracks during this lockdown, or did you have them on a shelf and were just looking for an opportunity to release them?
For Lost, I think I wrote that at the very beginning of the lockdown. Maybe I think it was at the very beginning. And,
feels like it.
Yeah, and that was when everything was kind of up in the air and everybody was really kind of nobody still knows what's going on, but it was I wrote it at the beginning of the lockdown. I felt like everybody was kind of on their own desert island at the time and just trying to communicate by any means. And so like the imagery, I was kind of thinking like Tom Hanks Castaway kind of vibes. And I don't know. That's kind of what I wrote too. And then with Trippin, I think I wrote that before everything. I think I wrote Trippin around the same time I wrote that song Fly. I wrote those two songs in the same week.
With Lost, I just thought of, man, I haven't been to a live show in over a year. What's everybody else doing besides sitting in your home? Right. I mean, for me, I was like itching for people to release new music because that's what I do. But then I talk to artists and go, yeah, we were afraid to do it because we couldn't promote it on a tour. So it was like a double-edged sword, but I'm like, oh, thank God you did. I always tell them, look, now that we know your music, Desert, when you go on tour, you don't have to say, hey, and this is a track from my new album, and people go get a beer and take a pee break. They should know the whole album, right? So
yeah. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah, because at first, a lot of the artists were kind of hesitant on releasing music because, we weren't able to tour behind the album like you're saying. But I don't know, it's just kind of, it's cool to release it single by single, and it's just a different way to do it. And at first I was kind of more so about just dropping the whole album, but I'm enjoying the process of just releasing single by single and having like a little video that comes with each one too is really cool.
Well, you think of the strategy behind that. It keeps everybody on their edge. What's next? I mean, if you throw it all out there, we all hear it and go, okay. And now it might be pressure on you to, man, I got to put another album out. So I get it. I think it's a great idea. And, before I let Scott talk, another track I have here, Wings, man. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
What a cool track. Again, another great storyteller track that's like, woo, man, for a young guy, you got it going on. Good, brother Scott.
Yeah, it's the singles themselves, I think when you release them, you get a chance to hear them in their element. They're a product. I love full albums, and I'm an old school guy, and I love dropping the needle and going straight through in that journey. But I think today's world, I think you're getting, if you get 10 songs, people are going to pick one or two and the other 8 are going to get lost, no matter how great they are, kind of. So that's kind of today's world. So I'm all on board with that. And I have to tell you, I listened to these 3 singles, the 3 latest ones. But when I put on, and I love Lost, it is just, it's gorgeous. But Give Me All You Got, as soon as it kicked in, it was like I was holding an old friend's hand. It was I felt like I had heard it before, and it was ingrained in me. And, and every time it comes on now, I just, wow, this is a friend of mine. It's really that kind of tune. It's really special.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was definitely going for that kind of vibe, and I'm really lucky to have Crystal Algae mixing all my stuff. So the console that he's using is really just, it's mixed so many great artists and everything, and I'm really lucky to be a part of that. And it's just that it's got that sound, I think, and I was going for that kind of classic sound, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, now your sound's a lot different than your dad's sound. Your dad was an AOR guy, radio rock. You're a more ethereal, moody, soulful, kind of reminded me of Connie Crow's Adam Duritz
Nice.
thing, which is awesome. Was that a conscious decision to go in a different direction, or is this just organic like that?
Yeah, I grew up with I grew up with a lot of the influences that my dad shared with me, but I also have my own influences. So I think it's just a byproduct of like all the influences that I had, and just kind of taking certain things from other artists that I enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
So
it's a lovely sound. It really is great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Gotta mention the TV show you mentioned before. You wrote the theme, Real Money. I mean, who's better to do a TV show than your dad? So candid, so humorous. He had the face. He had the, you just see him and look at him and you just laugh. And his personality, I mean, just fit for TV. But I gotta say, Des, what was your thoughts when said, okay, everybody in the living room, we got an announcement to make. We're going to have cameras following you everywhere in the house, on the road. And you go, what? What was the feedback with you and Jess and Zach and Julian and Joe going, no.
Had to be crazy.
Yeah, at first, we didn't really want to do it. And they had been talking about it for so long. But, we got really lucky that we got with a network that they understood our vision. And I think Mark Cuban completely got what we were going for. And they didn't try to fabricate anything. Like some of the other networks tried to make it kind of your typical reality show, and they tried to make it they try to make us out into characters and stuff like that when, we're kind of characters in our own way, but not the type of characters that they were trying to turn us into. But yeah, I really enjoyed that we did it with Axis, and it took a little getting used to, but we got kind of, we ended up really enjoying it. And once we got used to it, it was actually really fun to do. And we're happy that we did it.
Well, in 4 days is the 2nd year anniversary of the loss of your great dad. And not that I want to dwell on that, but his illness, he announced the illness, and man, it was quick. What I recall of it. But then you guys, the Axis, continued to show what he was going through. And I said, that could be like either way. But on a positive note, I think because other folks have done it, like, look, no, film me so other people can maybe learn and get it. Was that what you guys were thinking, to help other folks?
Yeah, that was really important for my dad, was to help other people. And though it was like really personal for us to go through with the cameras and everything, by the time it was happening, we were already kind of like hit by a bomb at that point. So everything going on was kind of just, it was just happening. But, we're really happy that we did it because we get to see the other families out there that they'll come up to me.
Yeah, the feedback and comments you must receive is going like, thank you. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. It's people that are going through the same thing. And so it really was special to see that, translate to everybody else.
Well, if I could hug you and your mom and your sister and brothers we're that's what I got out of it as a fan, as a dad, brother, love guy loves for music. It's not an easy thing to do, to open the doors and show that type of thing. But
right.
God bless you guys for doing that and thinking of others that hopefully have helped out. Yeah, and your middle name is Lennon. I mean, what's this? Is there a Ringo? Is there a Ringo in the house, or George?
Actually, yeah, Ringo's one of our dogs.
I love it. It's great. Well, and I know your first name, Desmond, is from Obla Obla. Desmond has a barrow in Marketplace. I think your dad missed the mark on Jessie, though. She should be Molly, right? Right? Molly is the singer in a band. That's so cool. I mean, that is just really, really cool. And I have to remark, I've seen other interviews that you do and how you are today. And when we talk about your dad and his passing, and I've seen interviews where you're showing these wonderful things, achievements that your dad had, and just talking about his life in general. You're such a balanced family and so in touch with it, and it's there's no darkness there, and it's such a dark place to go, but there's no darkness in you guys. There's a light that comes from you, and it's really, really, it's great to see. He had to be just a wonderful father. Your mother has to just be a wonderful mother. You kids are you're a pleasure to watch. I love to see how you approach this dark time, and it really is inspiring.
Oh, thank you, man. That really means a lot. Yeah, wow, that really means a lot for sure. That's it. It was important for us to, be there for other people as much as we can, because that's what my dad taught us is to be there for people and have fun in life, but also take things seriously and just kind of roll with the punches, and the show must go on is what he always taught us as well. And so we're still doing it. Yeah.
I got one for you, a question for you in relation to that. Your father was many things. Aside from a great musician, obviously a great father. What part of your father do you think you exhibit most?
I think the songwriting and just the work ethic, I would say. How hard I work, and that's kind of the most important thing, because that's the only thing I can really control, is how hard I work, and how much I love music, and I think that's another thing is his love for music that he passed on. But yeah, I think those things.
Yeah, and it shows again. It's great. It's awesome.
And any your other brothers and Jess, anybody following in the path like yourself, trying to get out there, and any music that we can help support and promote?
Yeah, Jess has one single out right now, but we're working on getting some more of Jess's music out as well. And she's actually in the band with me, and she's on my record too. So we're working together. And then my little brother's on the drums. So we're all in the band together, and yeah, it's we're still going. And
I did find Daz and the Phase.
Yeah.
Was that an old band, or is that what you're calling yourself now, or?
That's kind of like how Bruno Mars has the Hooligans when he plays.
Okay.
It's just like, it's the live band. But yeah, it's my dad really liked that when we came out with that, and he's like, wow, that's a cool name. So yeah, we rolled with it, and yeah, Dez Money in the Phase, and yeah, we might still call it that, I think, when we get back out on the road. Yeah.
I have to tell you, it's kind of funny when the email hit my inbox and it came up Dez Money, and I didn't make the connection, and I thought Dez Money, that just sounds so hip hop, you know what I mean? Dez Money, and I expected to see a dude with chains, and it's like, and then I'm like, oh, Eddie Money, okay. Now I got it, so that was kind of cool.
Go ahead, Dez, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. Yeah, it sounds kind of like, it could be any genre really, but yeah, it's funny.
What's the plan down the road? I mean, once things open up a little bit, is there a plan to tour and promote and go on the road?
I'd love to. We're still feeling everything out and playing it by ear, but hopefully soon. We're going to start off with just doing some local shows and feeling everything out. But I'd love to get back out there and play some shows again.
Now, are you an LA guy or a Long Island guy?
I'm an LA guy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
We got the
I'd
three.
love to go back to Long Island soon, though.
Yeah, there's the three sections of the states right here.
Yeah.
Both bookends and the middle. So yeah, we'd love to see make the rounds to all three. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love that. Yeah, looking forward to whenever we get the opportunity to go back out there on tour.
Before I let you go, Dez, I mentioned producer. So are you working with other artists in that role? Or I know you're producing your own stuff and learning, as you go and from getting some great feedback from others. What are you producing for other artists? And how do you like that role?
I'm producing a little bit for my sister, but other than that, it's just kind of, I'm keeping it in the family at the time. I'd love to produce for others if the opportunity presents itself, but yeah, we'll see, maybe in the future. But yeah, with my sister, it's really kind of the same process because she grew up with the same influence as me. And so yeah, we kind of it's very natural when we make music together.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, the more you jump in, whether it's engineering or mixing or producing for anybody, that you go, hey, try this, try that, and play with this, use this instrument. I mean, like, I think you mentioned before in one of the albums, you just like threw an instrument, try this, try that. And yeah, it'd be pretty cool to hear somebody else's ideas and let you be like the chef to help put that recipe in place or add another ingredient. So yeah, no, that's all cool.
Yeah, I love playing that role as well. Like whether I could be the drummer or bassist or on guitar or whatever. Whatever the song needs for me to do, I'll do it.
Well, we're here for you, Scott. What do you got to say for this guy?
Man, we love you, Dez, and we're looking forward to more music, more singles, an album, whatever you want to drop. We're gonna be there listening to it for sure.
Right on. Thanks so much for having me on the show, guys.
Our door is always open. Forget the money. We got the Dez money, and I got the doctor in the house. Dez, I can't thank you enough. And we got what's the dog's name, Scott?
This is Paisley.
Okay. Not Ringo, not George, but Paisley.
Like in Paisley Park.
Oh, hey, okay.
Or Brad.
Great.
Paisley, maybe.
There you go. Well, time to rock a little Dez Money here on, Dr. Music / Pat Soundbytes, and give me all you got. Rock on, Dez.
Rock on.
Take care, bud.
Thank you. You too.